You guys are ready?
Hi, everybody. So Dan and I are drinking the Grenache Blanc already. So if you guys don't have a bottle chilled already, we'll kind of walk you guys through it. I'm super happy to be here with Dan. I'm, going to be asking questions and all that stuff. I'm super excited to be a part of these tasting series that we've started already. I just want to say thank you to all of our wine club members who emailed questions in all week long. It's going to be a little hard to go through all of them, but we're going to do our best. So this is Dan Barwick, our winemaker, and I'm
here to do his best.
Oh, yes. Always doing our best. And I'm Emily Shannon. I'm the wine club coordinator here for Paradise Ridge Winery. So we are starting with the Grenache Blanc. So I have a few questions already preset. So I'm going to be asking Dan a little Q&A. So what stands out in this wine for you?
It's the acidity and the texture. It's a unique sort of category for wine. You're used to the Sauvignon Blanc, that clean, crisp character, and then you have more of the texture going into the Chardonnays. This is sort of lying somewhere in between. It's got its own unique texture, very unique acidity. It's very easy to drink, which is part of my winemaking style, and lots of stone fruits. Little maybe ripe melon there, something a little exotic going on there too. It's really all about finding that right texture. And again, we talked about foods before, and it's all about food. So I found strawberries, organic strawberries from our beautiful Sonoma County. And I think the texture in the strawberry and the acidity in the strawberry is going to go really well with this Grenache Blanc. Shall we do that?
Let's try it.
What out, baby? Gosh, that's beautiful. These are the first sort of strawberries of the year. Probably cultured under a frame or a greenhouse or something. And it's that acid balance that makes this little food and wine thing go on. So you didn't have to get all complicated. You didn't have to go to the kitchen. You didn't even have to go to the fridge to get this food pairing going on. That's what I love.
Very nice.
God, that is really good. And
wow.
The acidity in the strawberry resonates the wine. And I think that's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. Dan just whipped these out of the refrigerator. So this is a little twist. So if you guys are, have the access to strawberries and want to try it with the Grenache Blanc, let us know what you guys think.
That'd be good. Actually, that'd be really good.
Yeah, we would love that.
Feedback, even if you got some strawberries there and you can pull this off. Love to hear back from you, because I might be wrong. Nah.
Okay, so the next question we got was, so Rockpile's known for only having really red wines. Are there other white varietals that grow in Rockpile? Why is Rockpile so great for Grenache Blanc?
It's great for Grenache Blanc because it makes great Grenache Blanc. But this is the only white fruit in the AVA Rockpile. And this fruit used to go to somebody else. And I'd be jealously eyeing this vineyard for several years. And then we got some, I believe, a couple of years ago. And Mother Nature and a fire had different plans for that. But we've got this one here, our 2018. Immensely complex, immensely fresh. And why does it make special wine? Because I'm making special. It's really, it's about the complexity. You get this fruit and this juice. You're in the vineyard the whole year. You're dialing it in. You're looking, you're tasting, and then you pick it right on the dime. And then I step in. I use different yeast, different fermentation temperatures, and I just try to do that kind of obsessive stuff that happens with me and wine, and really make it complex. And I think I've sort of pulled it off. It's I think a wine to drink now as opposed to age for a few years. And because we'll probably make some more if they let me.
Hopefully, because this one's a very limited release. So hopefully you guys all got your bottles. Dan and I actually visited Rockpile not that long ago. I think a couple months ago.
Before the storm.
Yeah, and it was super hot. So I was very surprised that our Grenache Blanc grows so beautifully up there. But so for our next question, so a lot of people wanted to know what this pairs nicely with and your wife made me make sure that you don't say anything that's protein or meat.
Strawberries.
Strawberries. Oh, alas, we've already done it.
Wow. No, it's a good. But I think if that acid and the strawberry works out, this is a younger fruit. This is the first fruit of the year, so it has more acidity. And I think that's what makes it. If you were to get this later on in the year and this fruit was riper, it would not be the same texture and the same experience we're having. So I think other fruits would be just fine too, as long as they have that natural acidity. Maybe some those first apricots I see on the shelves there, probably coming from Southern California. Peaches are coming on right now. We're at the beginning of, at the end of May. We're sort of that cross between spring. Last few days have been pretty hot, so it seems like summer is here for a lot of us. And those fruits are now ripening, and this is the time. If ever there is a time to go and buy fresh fruit, it's now, because those fruits are ripening here in California right now, and that's the best time to get them. But that earlier level of ripeness, that first fruit, is the best always.
I definitely agree. So that were all the questions that we have for the Grenache Blanc, besides it being absolutely delicious. I think we're ready to segue into our Pinots.
Real quick, I have a couple of live questions.
Good.
Ooh, hit us with them.
So first one, they want to know how they can get the Grenache Blanc. And second, we had someone comment on our lovely art behind us.
Ooh. So I can touch on. I can do that part. Dan can do the artwork stuff. But you can email me, and you can go to our website as well. This is a wine club only wine. You can email me. My email is emily@prwinery.com, or you can always give us a call. And our phone number is on our website and on our Instagram as well too.
And the art. The art, we don't quite capture the whole of it here, but it's a beautiful piece that was created by a wonderful character called Monty, and we become friends while we were building this piece. While he was building this piece, actually, all of the pieces in this sculpture here, old tools for making barrels, they're cooperage tools. And I had this bizarre email a few years back that someone had these tools in storage, and would I be interested in a few? As it turned out, I thought I'd like all of them, please. And I had these in these boxes for several months, not knowing what to do with them, but I did know that I wanted them. I wanted them to be mine. And then this amazing opportunity arose that we needed a sculpture behind the bar here at Paradise Ridge. And Monty specializes in restoring old tools and making sculptures from them. So we had the perfect match. My wife Sonia came up with collating this, and I feel almost dizzy every time I look at it. It's not just the pieces itself. It's if you look at it, it's the shadows that are created, and as you move around the sculpture in different parts of the bar, these shadows and shinings, and it's extraordinary. It's three-dimensional, and what a blast.
It weighs a lot too.
So we're talking about Pinot,
I think we are talking about Pinot. So we're going to start with our Walters Vineyard. So this is our new release of the 17 Walters Vineyard. So this is from our estate. And we got a lot of questions about this one. So thank you, Dan.
Yep. Splash a little air in there.
All right. So we are starting with our 2017 Walters Vineyard Pinot from our estate. So the main question was, obviously we're in Russian River, but why is our estate so great for growing Pinot?
Well, the rest of the Russian River is a great place for growing Pinot. We're part of that collective, so by design we're already there. What we do have is a very unique microclimate here. We're on the eastern climes of the Russian River Valley, and we capture a lot of that sunlight and during the foggier seasons later on in the ripening period. So we will sit above the fog and sunlight and have those cool air temperatures. which is essential. You want that sunlight to ripen and produce those flavors. You want that coolness to preserve the acidity and the more delicate characters that are in that fruit. So we have this extraordinary place to grow Pinot Noir, as there is all over the Russian River Valley. But I think picking the fruit not as ripe as I want, as perhaps some people would, you preserve, as I said, capturing more of those delicate flavors that coolness already did captured for you, and then capturing or getting more of that natural acidity. When you put those together, you have a wine that's going to be much more food friendly, and that's why I think we have this unique place to grow Pinot and make Pinot. And I'm gonna make it for me, of what I believe that this vineyard, this Walker's Vineyard, can be possible of, and you guys get to play that game with me too. So that's perfect.
And what varietals, or not varietals, but what clones of Pinot do we have in our Walters Vineyard?
There's two. There's 777, Dijon 777, and we can go down that path if you want. And and then there's another clone called Pommard. They both come from Burgundy in France, and both,
I'm a big 777 fan, so if we could touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, this is the first fruit that we pick every year, and creates this spicy red fruit that can twist and turn and make these really wonderful characters in a wine that you won't expect. And that acidity is a big player, and the 777 can create good flavor very early on in its maturity. And if that happens, then the acid is still there, and we can create these extraordinarily, vibrant. I think is where you like a vibrant Pinot Noir, obviously. Yep. Yeah, like that. This is a combination of predominantly Pommard and a little bit of 777. So sorry to disappoint you, but
no wonder I didn't like it. Just kidding.
we managed to capture the same feeling of how this fruit is with the Pommard. Pommard is much more broader shoulders. Mm-hmm. We're looking at more darker fruits. This is black. The oozes of blackberry to me.
It's definitely a very dark Pinot, which I like too.
This is a 2017, and there's a story behind this wine. So a lot of people that may know us, we lost all our wine in 2017 because Mother Nature had this plan of other plant, and someone else bought some fruit from us and was very kind and generous enough to give us that juice from their cellars. And this is the only reason this wine is here. And I'm forever grateful for having a little piece of that vintage state fruit in a glass to share and do all the good stuff we do with wine.
You also, when we were doing a vineyard tour, you also said that you picked the Pinot when there was the solar eclipse going on. I know. Sorry to bring that up. It's a sore subject.
So in 2007, there was a solar eclipse. Happens once in a lifetime, maybe, or even longer. And in 2017, I harvested some Pinot Noir exactly and only when that solar eclipse was happening. So as soon as we weren't actually part of that solar eclipse, but you could definitely get that sensation that it darkened. As soon as it darkened, the people were waiting. They picked fruit until the light came back to normal, and we made a wine only from that fruit, a rosé wine. And as I say,
as nature would have it.
Mama wanted someone else, so here we are. But
it's definitely a very cool story, especially.
I like the core. I just wanted to drink that wine.
I think we all would have. I would have been on this tasting.
Probably. Now we're stuck with strawberries and Pinot, but this is good.
The worst.
So we're going to do another Pinot. We've got the.
Yeah. No. So
you're not allowed to tell anybody I dump wine, by the way, out there.
All right, so this next Pinot is going to be our 2016 Vineyard Select Pinot. So the most questions I got this like a bunch of times, and people were asking what the main difference between the two Pinots are.
777.
It's all seven.
Come on.
No wonder I like this wine.
No, really, and this is the wine that is the first picked fruit on the estate every year, and we pick it at this extraordinarily vibrant and bright acidity, and it just captures in the glass the red fruit that's going on. This has taken a few years. It's drinking now just beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll be quite honest, for a couple of years I was like, what are you doing? You're not showcasing what's going on. And this is right now just singing to me blueberries, red fruits. Oh God, I'm so happy. We can now talk. We really weren't talking for a long while because she was not delivering. Good, but not what I wanted. I knew what she had. I knew her potential, and she was always teasing me. I suppose that's how it is.
We always love a tease.
Oh, there you go. Bang. She's that's lovely.
Oh yeah.
Say it myself. So buy it before I try it, because this is what will happen.
Yeah, and it's nice that we've been able to sit on it for a little bit longer too, and
they said we don't want to sell all our wine, and here we are with a beauty. I'm loving it.
Yeah, this is tasting amazing right now, and it's not just because it's 777 and that's my favorite, but
what were the other questions? I know you had a whole list of questions.
Okay, so I have a full list of questions, and so we discussed what the big difference is between the two Pinots. Okay, and this is a great little segue. So you talk a lot about wine and food pairings. What makes our wines so food friendly?
The simple answer is the acidity in the wine, and the only way that you can maintain that natural acidity in the wine is to harvest it before the acid is lost. The riper the fruit gets, the less acid it will have, and it's very, very simple. You either make the decision to create these characters when it's riper, or you create these characters when it's here. We get the natural acidity, and that's really the core of I think my winemaking, and it makes it more food friendly. Also, when you're harvesting that fruit earlier, the sugar level is lower, which means there's a lower level of alcohol, and it's very important. You know, I'm in the volume business, and I want you to sit down and have lunch and not feel fatigued, or that it doesn't. All it made you do is feel better. And if the alcohol is lower, then that's going to become a better equation for you, and it's part of the formula. So everybody try this at home. Have a glass of my wine at lunch with someone you like, with some good food, and see how you feel. You know? This is especially important for those of you that don't drink at lunchtime, which, as far as I'm concerned,
we're professional lunchtime drinkers.
Abomination. So do this. Sorry, we're having too much fun here. I think it's really important. And I think if you drink glass wine at lunchtime, when you don't normally drink a glass of wine at lunchtime, we're going to fix that problem very quickly with a glass of Paradise Ridge.
So
That was good, wasn't it?
It was great.
So real quick, AGP Lighthouse asked for Dan, can you discuss your filtering process for wines?
Yeah, we cross-flow filter everything, which means that we remove, it's the most gentlest form of filtration, but what we do with this is remove all the bugs that are living in our wine. The wine is a live thing. There are literally trillions of bacteria and yeasts living in your wine the whole time that it's aging. The numbers are staggering. We want to remove those. So when we put it in the bottle, none of those have got a plan for my wine other than the one I had. And it is crucial that the wine will age without being negatively affected by a microbe, whatever it may be, to have its time before you do. And filtering is the only way that you can alleviate this. Well, it's not. There's other ways you can do it, but we're not going to go there. But I think it's important. And I have to sleep at night. And sleeping at night means that you're drinking the wine that I made for you. And that's the bottom line, really.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I am not so food and wine pairing savvy. I know.
Obviously not eating enough protein.
No. I eat protein, but I will eat like DiGiorno pizza with like my, Pinot, which I think is a good pairing. But what are your tips and tricks for some good food and wine pairings?
Cut out the DiGiorno.
Okay, Domino's.
I think it's so easy. You can go to the grocery store now and get fresh pizza dough. You can get pizza sauce. You can get ingredients, and you can do this whole thing at home and create a way. Just try. There'll be a few misses and messes, but get a pizza stone. Create your oven, turn that into your pizza oven. Get the ingredients you love, find the one you love, and the pizza is the perfect tool for tweaking the wine. So if you're drinking something light and fresh, maybe you put some vegetables on there, maybe a squeeze of lemon juice. Keep the cheese light, maybe some ricotta instead of mozzarella. And then if you're going, you want like a really satisfying pizza and you've got the big red going on, then you pile on the meat. We start at the low grade bacon, and then you can work the sausage. If you have a steak that you couldn't quite manage to finish during that last episode of the grill, bam, throw that guy on. Throw some cheese on there, and then you've got the whole thing down. And that's what it's all about. You don't have to be fancy schmancy with this food and wine pairing.
You just trashed my DiGiorno pizza.
Hit the fridge. Hit the fridge. The worst. Don't let anything go to waste. And if something isn't quite the way that you wanted it to be, when it's in that fridge and it's coming out, it's still edible. Wine will make it better. Promise.
I'll have you write me a couple recipes and I'll maybe try them.
Maybe text. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right,
text is fine.
Right, okay, good.
Okay, so I also wanted to kind of comment. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed that we brought a lot of sheep back on our property, back by popular demand. And now we have a few more critters on the property, Dan, and I want you to touch base on our new sheep friends, our new cow friends, and our possible new pig friend.
Mangalista pig.
Whatever he said.
Well, after the fires, I knew I had it had changed. Our estate had changed, and I came back with creating, with the thought of creating all the possibilities that there could be. And one of those was to bring back. This was a ranch, so animals have lived here probably since it was pioneered, whenever that was in the 1800s. And I feel the great thing to do would to bring back that animals living on the property without interfering with a natural balance. So we now have sheep grazing in the vineyards instead of having to mow those weeds and grasses and under the vines, making that out. And we're having cattle graze the hills because that's mitigating a fire risk, which I think is very important. And then there's there's all these different animals, but one of them is a Mangalista pig.
It's a very hairy, curly pig.
It is a very look it up. Mangalista pig. You'll just be smiling, I promise you.
Just Google hairy pig and you'll find it. That's the only way I found it. I think I've Googled like hairy, curly pig and it pops right up.
Isn't this great? Anyhow, the Mangalista pig.
This is my last tasting.
Mangalitsa pig is basically Kobe of pork. And what it loves to do, and what its speciality is, it's an ancient breed from Eastern Europe. And what its speciality is it loves to eat the weeds in ponds. And after the fire, we had this weed problem because of the different changing the chemistry of the water. And the weeds went nuts. So how are we going to manage this? And our research, there's lots of different things you can do. And most of them include spraying some sort of nasty stuff. And we didn't want to do that. So I think we're going to fix this problem by, in the late summer, bringing these Mangalitsa pigs, which like to dive and live in the water and eat these weeds. I mean, what a natural way to fix a problem. And then you have this wonderful opportunity to send them to market. I'm going to leave it at that.
But they're such cute little buddies.
We're going to have diving boards. We're going to have all sorts of synchronized swimming, everything. We're going to do it all.
So I have a good question for you guys that came up. The 3 wines from the shipment, stainless steel, ? What kind of barrels?
That's a Dan question.
Yeah, it is. No, go on, you can answer. You got this. So this is the Grenache Blanc is in all stainless steel, and we, as I said, there were several different fermentations, all in stainless steel, and that was a planned thing. On the 2017 wine, we inherited this wine from someone else who had a different concept of oak, and it was very good. Fortunately, it was a very good concept, but I had to change and move it into the direction I thought was better for me. Us, I suppose that's what I'm saying. Better for us, and I think it turned out really nice. So the original oak was a lot newish, but we moved it into larger format, more neutral oak to finish in.
So there's a little less contact with it, which is nice.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's right. And then the 2016, the waters is all finished in second and third fill, so pretty much neutral oak. So we really wanted to let the oak take a background play in what's going on in the wine. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's really showing and shining from what we did with that wine.
Okay, so I have a finishing question. I know you love your meats and all that jazz. What would you put on the barbecue tonight with these Pinots? Or hairy curly pig?
Yeah,
not yet.
Well, I wouldn't think about it as the animal. I'd think about it as the cut. But I think some pork ribs. You put them in the oven and you play around with what you cook them in the oven. Maybe peaches are coming along right now. So cut some peaches up, slice salt, pepper, slice some peaches up there, put it in the oven, maybe 275 to maybe 300 for a few hours, and then flip them and then put some more peaches on there, and that's going to those peaches are just going to melt into that those pork ribs. The ribs are now cooked, maybe for a couple of hours. I'm not a chef, and I don't know this. I'm not, writing a recipe here. This is what I would do right now. You ask me a question. Then what I would do is I take those ribs and let them rest, and I'd make a sauce that those peaches up with the renderings from the pork, and then I'd start knocking around with some spices. Even if you put in a barbecue sauce that you have in the fridge and you put it in there, you're creating your own barbecue sauce. I would cook that up, and then later on, if you have a barbecue, I'd slap all that grill, render that stuff down, the stuff we just talked about, put it over the ribs now that they're cooked, go back out there and put those on the grill, not too hot, don't want to burn that, and I think you're going to talk some serious ribs right there.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to need you to text that to me because I'm going to forget. But
yeah,
we'll see. Okay, well, I'm sorry we didn't get through all of the questions that I got. I'm really sorry, but I'll email you guys all of Dan's answers. But thank you guys so much for chiming in. We will be doing another live tasting in a couple of Wednesdays, I think.
Wednesdays, we're going to be talking bacon, we're talking pizza oven. We're going to bring in all sorts of.
We're going to whip out all the stops. But thank you guys so much for chiming in. Again, I'm Emily Shannon. I'm the wine club coordinator. This is Dan Barwick, our wine maker. And cheers, guys. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
I'm going to put some peaches on my ribs.